So that might be an issue for me though, because when I'm looking at this, the only option I have is 6th edition.
Okay, so that's fine. All you have to do is go on to you can Google it. Just Google APA 7th edition add-in for Word, and you can download what's called a service pack for it. It's free, it's easy, it's quick. It's just a software download to update that. It's no big deal.
What is it called?
Let me see if I can.
APA 7th edition add-on.
I'm gonna email you this link here, and it's got the link inside of this help page for you to. Okay, so there's that. So you'll just get on here and you'll download this right here, update file. So once you have that done, up here where it's references, APA 7, and then manage sources is where you want to start.
Okay.
So inside of here, you have 2 tables. You have your master list, which is kind of everything from any paper you've ever written. Okay.
Yep.
And then your current list is stuff that's in use in this paper. So the 2 lists you'll notice are not the same, because everything I've ever written is more than just this paper. So I have far fewer here. If you want to add a book or an article or whatever, any kind, you start with new here, and you select the type of reference that you're making. So most of the time it's going to be a book or a journal article or a report or a website or something like that. But you have all these different possibilities, and it's pretty cool how to format the citation based upon the type.
Okay.
Our author changes this, Gary, and also Jane Doe that author. So we have 2 authors. You just put those names and hit add, and then when you're done, just hit OK. And you'll see it adds them here in their author order. Now, if it's a corporate author, meaning it's not written by a person, it's written by
I have a like Center for what is it in here? Oh no, I ended up not using it. But there are a couple that Center for Evidence-Based Crime Policy.
Yeah, so you would put that here if it's not an individual author. Now, don't get confused. If it's a individual author that wrote it on behalf of an organization, you still cite the individual author.
Okay.
So you would only do a corporate author if it's something like a government report that doesn't list the author's name.
Okay.
Or like a website or something like that. Okay.
Yep.
Now that's very important, because otherwise, like I said, you're citing the wrong thing. Because if I write it on behalf of the FBI, then I'm the author, not the FBI. Yep. But if I'm writing it and the FBI is publishing it on behalf of the FBI, then the FBI would be the corporate author. Okay.
Okay.
So basically, use the rule of thumb. If you can see in the article who the author is, cite the author.
Okay.
Okay. So we have our 2 authors here. So then our title is Best Book Ever. It was published in 2002 in Chicago by the Best Publisher. So it will automatically select which fields are required based upon the type of source you select. But there are other things you can add too. So if you
Okay.
hit this box down here that says show all fields, you can scroll through all the different fields. So if it's 6th edition, or if it's you know, an online reference, you can put a URL or a DOI, or if it was a translated version, you can put the name of the translator, if it's a volume. So all these different things, okay? So most of the time that's not going to that's not going to apply. So you just go with what is required. So we hit OK and it adds it. There it is right there. So it shows me what my in-text citation looks like, and it shows me what my bibliography entry looks like right here. Okay. Now, if I want to copy that over to make sure it's available in this paper, but you see it's right here. But if it didn't, all I would do is click on it here and hit copy over.
Yep.
Okay. So if you have one over here that you don't want to use, all you have to do is very simple. So we do want it, so we're going to copy it over. So when you're done adding your sources, just hit close. So as you're typing along, let's say that we want to cite this sentence right here. So all this stuff is from that book. Just go to the end of it. You know it's inside the punctuation, right? So you go before your period or your exclamation point or whatever punctuation you're using, and you come back up here to your references tab. And right here where it says insert citation, just go down and find the source that you want to cite. So in our case, it's this right here, the best book ever.
Yep.
And it automatically adds it. See that?
Yep.
Okay. So at the end of our paper, after we've done all of our sources, I'm going to delete this so that it doesn't get confusing. So at the end, if we want to put in our bibliography, all we have to do is down here where it says bibliography. Go down here. I typically go with references because that's what recognizes kind of the universal for APA formatting.
Yep.
It really doesn't matter. It's more of an author's preference, but I typically stick with references. All you do is click on references and boom, adds it all for you. And so you'll notice Smith, J, and Doe J right here, best book ever.
Yep.
Automatically adds it for you. It does your hanging indent. It does everything for you. You don't have to worry about it. So as far as doing your table of contents, so Word will also do that. So you have different levels of headers under your home tab.
Yep.
You have all these different levels of headers here, right? So your introduction and your other first level headers, we know that they're bold, title case, centered in the page, right?
Yes.
So what we do is when we're starting to type our paper, we go start typing the word introduction, make sure it's bold, centered, Times New Roman, above, and then all we got to do is highlight that, go up here to heading 1, right click, and hit update heading 1 to match selection. Now heading 1 will look exactly like that. So anywhere I go, if I want to create a new heading, all I have to do is go where I want to go and then hit heading 1. It automatically does that. I don't have to worry about changing format. Now, if I made a mistake and that's not really supposed to be heading 1, text, all I have to do is go up there and hit normal. And
Okay.
it's normal. I can make it level 2 heading, which is left indented, or left justified, rather, with title case, bold, 12-point Times New Roman. So same thing for level 2 and level 3 headings, okay? So you define those level headings up here. Then, when you're done and you're ready to do your table of contents, again, I'm going to delete mine just so let's see. Right, so when it's time to add it, so Word is keeping track of all these different level headings. Okay, you'll see that here in just a second. So
Yep.
you click where you want it, you go to your reference tab and you go to table of contents over here. And you can pick which one you want. I always use just automatic table 1. Okay? So it will automatically populate all of your different level headers and nest them. See how it nests them?
Yep.
So like you see, our new one is a subheading, a level 2 heading underneath introduction. And it will track page numbers. So you don't have to worry about checking page numbers to make sure they're correct. So as you're typing along and you're writing your report and you're adding stuff and paragraphs and you know all this kind of stuff, and so page numbers change, and what was on page 4 is now on page 6, and so on and so forth. Instead of having to go through and update all the page numbers, all you have to do is go up here and hit update table. So if you just click on the top of this table of contents, just click update table, update the entire table, and it changes all those pages.
Okay.
So you don't have to worry about it. Just let Word do it for you. Same thing with your references. So let's say you get done and you had to add a couple of references at the end, or maybe you took some out. All you have to do is click here on your upper part of your references, update citations and bibliography. That's all you got to do. It will change everything for you appropriately.
Okay.
Cool?
Yes. What did I noticed at the top of your paper, introduction.
Yeah.
Is so when I start my paper, technically the second page, because the first page is just the title stuff.
Right.
The second page has the paper title at the top, but then would introduction be centered underneath that?
So this, remember, was written in APA 6, which required a running head. APA 7 does not. So you won't actually have a thing called introduction. It will just be the title of your paper.
Okay, so don't do, because before I had analysis, but I changed it to introduction. So just at that
It'll
point,
just be the title of your paper.
Okay. All right, so I'll take that out. I feel pretty good about the paper.
Good.
The only thing that I was a little confused on was trying to get the table of contents kind of automatically generated in, because it's a pain in the butt to try and just go through and do it all by hand.
I know it.
So let's see. So yeah, so I can just look back at this recording if you can email it to me, and I'll just go through and change all the headings today, get that switched over and post it either today or in the morning. Because I think I'm pretty much done with it.
Yeah, you should be by now, because this is really your first draft, although, you know, we've been through a couple rounds of peer review by now, so you should have a pretty good feel for what the final form's going to look like right now.
Yeah.
So next week, it should just be pretty much send it and forget it.
Okay. Thanks, Jimmy. All right, cool. Yeah, that was basically my only thing was trying to get the table of contents, and the table of contents needs to be on its own page before before basically we start the paper.
Correct. So you'll have your title page, then your table of contents, and then you'll have your first page of your paper. Remember, there's no abstract. Just go straight in with your title of your paper and your introduction, and then hit your first headings and your second and so on. Then remember references on their separate paper.
Yep.
So just some real quick reminders. Remember, your page numbers should always be top right corner.
Yep.
Make sure they're 12-point Times New Roman also. We often forget to change the font of them, so make sure you check that. Make sure that your references title and your table of contents title also match and are bolded. So it'll be 12 points Times New Roman bold. Okay. So your table of contents, your references, all of your level headings will also be that way.
Okay.
So let's see. Make sure you're double checking your punctuation is after your in-text citations. Make sure you're keeping an eye on quotations. If they go over 40 words, they should be block quotations. I think that's about it.
I did I think in the whole paper, I think I had one block citation, and then I made sure that all the citations I did, like when you and I talked about it before, were basically me paraphrasing and not having to use the quotation marks in it.
Yeah.
So anything that I did was just paraphrasing, and then like Haskins 2019.
Yeah.
And then when I'm doing that from say it's not from like a journal or an article, and it's from like a book or a publication that has page numbers.
Yeah.
When I'm paraphrasing and I cite that at the end of it, do I put the page number?
No, typically you only put a page number if it's a direct quotation or if it's something specific that's repeated multiple times in the book. So let's say if I make a main point 3 different ways in my book, okay? If I
Yeah.
tell you that it's important to motivate your troops and this is how you do it on page 5, and then it's important to motivate your troops this way too on page 12. If I have it multiple places and you're saying, it's important that you motivate your troops and you want to put the page number of what you're talking about.
Okay.
So, but in general, no, you should not be citing a page number on most of your stuff.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Alrighty. Yeah. So if you could just email me this recording just so I can remember. The last couple weeks have been awful here at work, so it's been. I don't know if it's the holiday season or what, but it's just been nonstop. And we have someone that's resigning at the end of the month, so we're down a body. It's been hectic.
How many troops do you guys have?
We have, including the chief and lieutenant, I want to say we're like 17.
Oh, so you're small.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, it's small. We have, I think we have like 13,000 people in town.
Oh, wow. Okay. I was thinking you guys were a little bigger than that. Okay.
We're pretty small, and we actually have less people now than we did like 20 years ago.
Oh, wow.
As far as staffing levels here, we've had like a huge budget issue the last several years, so we're still trying to like get past all that. But it's been pretty hectic being short staffed for so long.
Well, yeah, I guess especially when you're that sized agency.
Yeah, like right now, I'm the sergeant on 3 to 11, and it's me and one other officer working right now.
Wow.
So it's I mean, I can't tell you the amount of times every shift that we get numerous calls at once, and we'll have to like stack them based on severity or whatever. And mutual aid from Webster, which is the next town over.
Right. Yeah, I've had a few people in classes from Webster.
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably Rob Larochelle was probably in this class with you.
Who?
Or
Oh, La
Rob,
Rochelle. Yeah.
Rob,
I had him last term, or no, term before last. Yeah, in summer too. Yeah.
So he works. He's a good friend of mine. He's over in Webster. And then
cool.
Sean Epling's over there. You might have had him.
No, I don't think so.
But
yeah,
a bunch of guys. But I appreciate you taking the time to.
Yeah, no problem. Sorry, I wasn't available yesterday.
No
my wife worked. She's a nurse, and so she worked and didn't get home until late. So I had the kids all by myself, and there's just no way that's going to happen. I got a 9-month-old, so it wasn't going to happen.
Mine are 15 and 8.
Okay, so I've got a 16-year-old boy, a 10-year-old girl, and a 9-month-old girl. So.
Oh my goodness.
It's hands full, buddy.
Yep, I hear you.
So, all right, well, let me stop the recording and I will send it over to you. And so I'm free.